All right, good morning, Do Hard Things Nation. Another edition of your weekly wake up. I'm Jay Teagues, and I have with me in studio Tom Kyatt. How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Good morning, everybody.
This morning we are embracing the suck. Embrace the suck. That's
Embracing
what we're
the
going to
suck,
talk about
man.
today.
Embracing the suck. That's right.
I was thinking a lot about this topic because we talk about a lot about grit and perseverance, and I think embracing the suck, embracing the hardship that goes along with that, is
Mhm.
a critical component of crushing goals and dominating life. But suffering is an inevitable part of life, and having honor for the struggle and realizing that the suck, the hardship that you're facing when you're enduring something challenging is part of the process. My coach, I have my one-on-one coaching calls on Monday morning, and my coach every week, I'm like, this is the challenge that I'm facing. This is the struggle. And he constantly reminds me every week that this is the necessary path that I have to walk. And sometimes the path has broken glass. It's got hot coals on it, but it's a necessary path to walk. And that's me, on this entrepreneurial journey that I'm in. That's my challenge right now, is embracing the suck of, business. And so that that correlates to any other aspect of your life. So when you think of embracing the suck, Tom, what do you think about?
Okay, well, yeah, I've got a bunch of takes on this one, though, right? When it comes down to training, when it comes down to your health, embracing the suck is everything. You've got to push your body beyond its current capabilities to get better, to adapt. So when it comes down to weight training, you don't want to push that extra couple reps. You embrace the suck, you do, and you see the benefits over time. You want to improve your time in a running race. Again, you embrace the suck because it's going to be painful. You know better than I do. It gets kind of ugly, but in order to improve the time, you got to embrace the suck to improve. And in doing so, your heart and your lungs get stronger. Friday night, Saturday, you're at a party, you want to lose some pounds, and you get these temptations throughout. You got to embrace the suck of, hey, you know what? I'm not going to have that because there's something better in my future if I decline. So you embrace it. You just accept, hey, I'm going to be a little hungry right now. Yeah. I'm going to avoid that snack throughout the week here and there so I can get down to a trim, leaner, healthier meat. You just embrace it. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks that you're hungry. It sucks that you got that growling stomach. But I'm going to tell you right now, it pays off in the long run. So physically, embracing the suck is everything.
Absolutely.
And so many people are too afraid to push when it comes down to physical endeavors that they don't. And then guess what happens to the results? They don't get them.
They don't get the result that they want because they haven't embraced the suck. They quit before they embraced comfort.
Right.
Exactly. I have Urban Dictionary here as I was looking this up. Like, where does this term come from? And actually, they coined it from the military.
Yes.
And so let me read the Urban Dictionary because I think this is funny. Verb, military slang, to consciously accept or appreciate something that is extremely unpleasant but unavoidable. For forward progress.
Yes.
To consciously accept or appreciate. Honor the struggles I'm thinking of. That is extremely unpleasant, but unavoidable for forward progress. You cannot avoid it. You have to deal with this unpleasant thing to achieve your goal. That's embracing the suck. Now, furthermore, because we're on Urban Dictionary, this is the fun part. All right, earmuffs if you got kids in the car. Staff sergeant, this is how we talk. Hey, shitbird, I've got a detail for you. Follow me to the back of the latrines. Private gets handed a shovel. Pour that gasoline and diesel over that 55-gallon drum and mix this shit up and burn it good. Private, you want me to burn this shit and piss? Staff sergeant, someone's got to do it. It's got to get done, and it ain't going to be me. So embrace the suck, Private. That's where it comes from. And made me laugh. So those that are in the military are going to get a kick out of that one. But it's doing the things that have to get done, and that's a little funny take on it. But I love it's extremely unpleasant, but it's unavoidable. We have to do it for forward progress. And there's just many things in life. Anything that's worth pursuing is going to have a level of discomfort or unavoidable pain that you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
And so how are you embracing the suck in your life right now, Tom?
Oh, man. When it comes down to saying the term, hey, this sucks, this sucks to me. This is where I look at it and say, well, I don't know if I want to really embrace it. If something really sucks in my life, that's a wake up call to, all right, I'm not going to focus on the problem. I'm not going to plow through it. I'm going to focus on the solution, and I'm going to change this as quickly as possible so that this doesn't suck anymore, because I'm not embracing any suck. I'm not going to make my life an entire struggle. I'm going to change things so that I live my best life. Mm-hmm. So having said that, if I'm struggling in business and I've got a concept that I want to put out there short term, I'm not going to struggle. I'm not going to embrace the suck of a struggle. I'm going to contact everybody I can to generate business. Will those calls suck? Yes, they will. But eventually, I'm going to get out of this sucky situation because that's me. I don't think you need to endure, and life is a battle and life is a struggle. Man, no, life is a great adventure, right? So that's your identity. That's how you see life. I don't think you need to struggle for any extended period of time when you're looking for solutions and you act on those potential solutions. So that's my take on that. There's going to be short-term periods of embracing the suck, but you should be moving out of that because life should not be a complete struggle. What are your thoughts, Jay?
I think about the actual struggle itself. So think of something that you're embracing. You're on this worthy endeavor, and you have to embrace the suck. So what is the suck that you're? Let's dissect what is actually the discomfort in your life, or the issue at hand. Because if we can make that suck a little bit less, and also remember why it's important to endure it, it makes the suckiness digestible, if that makes sense. And a lot of times it's got to do with a fear of taking some type of action. Like if you're on a sales team, I think of I guess I'm dealing with that now. Like we're trying to promote a race, we're trying to promote a brand. So there's sales and marketing that's involved in that. And that requires, picking up the phone, getting in contact with people and presenting your offer to people.
Yeah.
And it's the rejection of no that, and this is common for a lot of people. We don't want to hear no, so we avoid doing that altogether. Yeah. But but when you dissect the act of that, like, well, what is really going on? Well, okay, I'm taking that no personal as it's tied, like they're rejecting me as a person. They're not rejecting me as a person. They're just rejecting my offer. But oftentimes we're connecting the two. And when I flip the script on that and realize they're not rejecting me as a person, it's like, okay, well, that makes that act a little bit easier to do. And that's pretty common in, like I said, in the sales world.
Well, here's the thing, Jay. You have a choice. You can embrace the suck of making 1,000 phone calls, or you can embrace the suck of being broke and going back to a different job. I mean, you pick your suckiness, but the reality is you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you get to choose your heart.
Getting rejected, yeah, exactly. If that means getting rejected over the phone calls, then that's what it is. Embrace it. Accept that that's what it is. You get 3 yeses out of 100, you're doing okay. You get 4 or 5 yeses out of 100, you're doing really good. But you got to understand, that's 95 no's. Don't take it personally.
Yeah. And so sometimes it's embracing our fear, and it's the fear of judgment. It's the fear of rejection. It's the fear of a variety of things. So what is that fear, and how can we disarm that? And that makes that process a little bit better. Sometimes another way to get over things that are difficult is the team of people that you surround you with. Do you have a coach or mentor that's working with you? I talked about that this morning. I have my coaching call with my coach, and every week he kind of gives me some motivation, inspiration, reminds me of, hey, this is the necessary path. This is how we make this a little bit better. And each week we're making that suckiness aspect of the job a little bit easier because I'm employing the strategy, this new knowledge, and I'm facing it. And I'm detaching the fear that's associated with. And so having the right people and the right support around you will also help you embrace the suck a little bit better.
It's funny though. Most people are hanging around losers.
That's very, very true.
Okay. Yeah. Now I hate to say it, it now comes down to, oh, hey, that guy's a fucking loser. That it's very derogatory, but the reality is they're losing in life. And how do I know that? Again, people are overweight, obese, They're knee deep in debt. They spend more than they make. That's the reality. I'm not making this shit up. They're losing in life. And when you hang around losers that talk throughout, man, like I got another bill to pay, things are not so good, that brings you down. So, Jay, are you better off with no friends than hanging around losers? What's the situation? What would you do?
Well, when you got toxic people around you, we'll equate losers. When you say loser, I think of like toxic people that are really bringing you down. Yeah, I would say it's almost, we need human connection. But if your human connection, the people that they're not clapping when you win and they're bringing you down and they're toxic, yeah, you're probably better without friends.
Better without friends, and then you start
Absolutely.
looking for new friends, right? So
Yeah,
looking
absolutely.
for new communities to attach yourself to, where you guys are doing it together.
Yeah.
And you guys are struggling together, and there is a sense of, you know what, we've got a community here. We're in this together. It just makes things a lot more pleasant.
Absolutely. When you're around a tribe of like-minded, turbocharged people, like you raise your ambition, and you'll rise to if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I've heard that quote numerous times. It's absolutely true.
Yeah,
it's absolutely, because you'll rise up. The only way that I achieved a master's degree, I firmly believe this, is because I had commissioned and it was expected of me in my career to have that. And because everyone else around me was pursuing that, I'm like, well, damn it. There's really no getting around this if I want to get promoted. All right, I'm going to get this master's program and I'm going to do it. And I ultimately, people that know me from high school, like it blows them up. I ultimately ended up with 2 master's degrees, and I equate that because I was around other people and it was expected in that environment. Had I chose another path, I probably never would have pursued that. And it's opened up numerous doors of opportunity having gone through that. And that's an example in my life. So when you're around like-minded people, you're going to raise your ambition, and the tide lifts all the boats. So that's an aspect that affected my life.
Hey, you know, there's a lot of people out there who they don't just embrace the suck in a negative way. They embellish the suck. It's like, look at me, my life is so hard. And what they remain where they are because they take pride in the I don't know, getting the pity. I don't know what it is. You ever see those people who, you pat that person on the back and now they're getting attention, so they just keep telling their story?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I know people like that. And they get
not embracing the suck.
They get trapped. That's not embracing the suck. That is embracing that thing that happened to you, that unpleasant, traumatic thing that happened to you. And guess what? This is going to sound pretty harsh, but there's a lot of people that get trapped. It becomes their identity. It becomes their identity. And I feel sorry for those people, because what they fail to realize is that most people have had really tragic things happen to them.
Yeah, I know.
But some people get locked in the past.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is even more offensive. What they're really doing is they're whoring out their story.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty nasty, but
that's a pretty
hey, you know what? If I had somebody say you're acting like a story whore, man, I'm like, pardon? What the fuck did you just say to me? Okay, that's it. That's a wake-up call. I'm never going to tell that story again, because it doesn't serve you. If your story is holding you down, that's not embracing the suck. You're pathetic. Like, make some changes. There are people with worse stories than us. There are people who are struggling around the world with a lot more shit than us, and we're using a little story as a first world nation. Come on, man. No, that doesn't sit well.
I think anytime that I am really feeling down on myself, I open up A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and I'm like, okay, I've had some issues in my life, but nowhere near the tragedy that man had, and he still made something of himself, and that someone always has something to overcome. Suffering is a part of the human dynamic, and we all have tragedies. And don't let it define you. But there are some people out there that let it define them. And I hate that for them. But some people know that they need to overcome it, and they choose not to. Like they said, they use it as a crutch, if you will. or use it to gain from other people.
They're whoring out their story.
Yes, they're whoring out their story. Yes. Yeah.
Our viewership just dropped 10,000.
Everyone someone out there that does that for personal gain of some kind. Don't be that person is all we're saying. And if you're around people like that, you've got to minimize that, because that will effectively bring you down for sure. Other ways to embrace the suck. We talk about this a lot. Remember why you started. Remember your big vision, because when time gets tough and you're slogging through, you got to realize, what's at the other end of this. And you got to remember why you started. You got to remember why you started.
I was just going to say that when there's light at the end of the tunnel and the reward, embracing that situation, the struggle that you're going to have is a lot easier, because there's a payoff. And then sometimes where you don't know there's a payoff, I think you got to act in faith that there will be a payoff, and just put in the work, even though you don't see the end of the tunnel. And I think a lot of people are in that situation where they just don't see it. And, you dig a little bit further and you will strike gold. You will have that success. And that's part of it, is counseling good people and saying, you know what, I know you've gone through stuff. What do you think? I talk to you and say, you tell me, hey, Tom, just keep plowing through. You'll get there. And that support mechanism is huge.
Support is so significant. It's made such a huge difference in my life. Having the right people around me, when things get tough, to lean on, to call somebody. And, I'm blessed to have a circle of friends that I can do that with. And I've got the mastermind group that I'm in and that we run, and a coach and mentor, in my corner. All of those things have infinitely made it more possible for me to achieve my goals and to snap out of it when things get really difficult. And I'm finding myself in the season of life that I'm in, transitioning from the military. And I know we have a lot of people that are former veterans or listen to this and that transition period is pretty difficult. And I find that I've got a pretty square head on my shoulders, but there are times as I've gone through this process, it's been very difficult. And if I didn't have a good support crew around me, I don't know if I would be doing as well, because I'm going through a challenging time right now. And I'm not saying that I'm always on my A game. I get down on myself. I get into my head. I question myself, what I'm going to do next. And, but if it weren't for the support group that I have, and it wasn't for the work that I'm doing, probably be in a different space altogether.
Yeah. And I will tell you this too. I'm speaking to the guys, but I'm also speaking to the women out there who are really struggling through some shitty times. And I know this is what I've done in the past, where things were bad and people were reaching out to me. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was going to do this alone, because I didn't want to tell people my situation. I was embarrassed. I was upset. I was really fucked up. And I think at that point, you do have to reach out. You do have to reach out to that one person you respect, because once you let out your story and you just say, hey, this is where I'm at and I need help, it just lifts that burden from you. So anyone out there who's struggling, who needs to talk, you got to reach out to somebody. You don't need to struggle on your own, because there's a lot of people right now who are struggling big time, who are going to stay quiet. Yeah. And they're going to present this face that everything is okay when everything is not okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. I think the pressure of society, social media, people think that they're alone in their struggle and their challenge, whether it be a relationship challenge, a health and wellness challenge, a financial challenge, whatever that challenge is, you're not alone in that. And I have just realized this, like, just the social media makes it seem like everyone is just having a great time, living their best life, except for me. My challenges are just exclusive to me. But don't do life alone. You got to connect with other people, and you got to realize that a lot of that stuff is BS, and you're measuring yourself to other people's progress. And it's not an easy thing to do, but you got to realize that you got to ask for that help and reach out. Maybe that might require investing in yourself. Like if you're struggling financially, you need a financial planner. You may have to invest some money to hire that expertise to help you navigate that. Maybe it's you can't
Yeah.
quite break the pattern in your health and wellness because you've tried everything on your own. Well, have you invested in a personal trainer or
Yeah.
a program, someone that can, because when you invest in yourself, you're going to show up more, you're going to pay attention. Have you invested in a coach or a mentor or a group of like-minded people?
Yeah.
Because when you put that investment into yourself, you're going to show up, and it might be that new support, something new that you, but everyone wants to try free, or they want to go it alone. They want to do this. And how's that work?
They want to try free because they don't want to put that money down because they're fearful that this won't work for them. Well, yeah, it will. It will work if you work it.
Absolutely.
And then just
Absolutely.
having a team of people around you, it creates some momentum. Having a coach guide you allows you for some exponential growth if you follow his or her lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's smart.
And people look at the cost of things like that. Well, what's it, what is bad health costing you? It's one of probably the most expensive thing. It's going to cost you on the back end, insurance, right? Or healthcare costs.
Or death.
But it's also, or death, or, what is the cost of looking in the mirror and being not happy with yourself, or not having the energy to play with your kids or do the things that you want to do? How do you put a price on that?
Yeah.
So, and you can equate that to any other aspect of your life.
Oh yeah, Jay, there's a guy I met on the beach. He wanted to hire me as a client, as a coach. And did I tell you about Jerry?
No, you didn't.
I'll make the story really, really short. Jerry and I met. I said, Jerry, let's go for a walk. And he goes, okay. And we're walking probably, I don't know, quarter of a football field length. And he stops because he couldn't walk. I just wanted to test him to see where his health was. And we went back to the bench. And I said, Jerry, if you don't get onto a program with me, you are going to die in 6 months. You need to change your health immediately. You have to, I didn't say this, but you need to embrace the suck of stopping, eating hot dogs and potato chips and drinking pop. And you need to stop just embracing the suck of sitting down feeling sorry for yourself, or you're going to die. And he was very excited. He didn't believe in himself, though, so he didn't get onto the program. And sure enough, he died. Dude dies 6 months later. No word of a lie. I heard somebody said, did you know Jerry died? I'm like, you serious? I'm not feeling good about this. I actually told him that. And I hassled this guy, but he didn't want to give up hot dogs and potato chips. Yeah. Now he's dead. He's not around. Never mind paying insurance. He's no longer here. So, I mean, yeah, do something about it.
Yeah. Well, everyone out there has a struggle or challenge in their life. And I guess my big question is, what is it costing you to not tackle it? What is it costing you to not embrace the suck and dealing with it? What's it costing you long-term? It's probably costing you happiness, fulfillment. It's costing you energy, some negative energy. And sometimes we just need to embrace the suck and do what we know needs to get done.
Yep. And if you're not ready yet, because for whatever reason, action is paralyzing, then at least take this intermediary step of saying, Jay, I'm struggling. I want to take action. I'm just letting you know I'm not ready yet, but when I'm ready, I'll call you. That act doesn't mean that you have to commit right away, but now you've put it out there.
Yeah.
And you're more likely to do it by just putting it out there. So take that step of, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm not ready yet, but I'm thinking about it. That's a great step. And guess what? It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. It reminds me of the different levels of change. We can talk about that on another call, but there's different people that want the change, but they're not quite ready to take action for whatever reason. And there's the people that actually do start taking action. And there's people that are taking all sorts of action, but they're not quite sticking to it to see one thing all the way through. So they're getting frustrated. And there's the people that just find one methodology and they just see it through and they're committed. Like I said, wherever you're at, the change starts with acknowledging that there's something that needs to get done, and that you're willing and ready and to do something at some point, but acknowledging that there's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And ladies out there who have a husband, if your husband is acting like a suck, do not embrace him. Tell him to get off of his ass and start doing the shit he knows he needs to do, because that t-shirt does not apply with your sucky husband. Don't embrace him. Give them a
So
swift
embrace
kick in the ass, because most men need that.
Don't embrace
Just had to
sucky
add that in.
people.
Sorry, Jay. Had to add that in.
All right. Well, hey, this is my favorite part of the week.
Yeah,
We're
let's
going to
do
do
it.
the weekly wake up, Do Hard Things Nation weekly spotlight. So let me share my screen. We got two people. We got two people this week. We got two for one.
Nice.
All right. Can you see my screen? This is Rebecca Ito and Helen Ruffner. And they both together, we talk about support group, they set off to do a 50-mile run, and they've been training all year, and they got it done yesterday in just shy of 16 hours out in Kansas. 50 miles on your feet. I'm training for a 100-miler, Tom, and I have not crossed the 50-mile mark. That is an incredible feat because that is painful. I don't know if you've ever done any distance like that, any extreme distance. I know a lot of your experiences in different discipline altogether, but from a running perspective, that is phenomenal. That's incredible. An ultra marathon is anything over 26 miles, which is a marathon.
Ridiculous.
And 50 miles is a long freaking way. It takes a while to drive 50 miles.
Did they talk to you afterwards about how the experience was?
Well, yeah. So I'm Rebecca's coach. So I use an app called Voxer, and throughout the experience, so I've been helping her train for this. She's put on all the work, but even during the event, I had communication with her, just reminding her, like, hey, that support we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Having someone guide and like, hey, you're going to hit the wall. You're feeling good now. I would have you consider doing X, Y, and Z. Consider these things as you're going through this. And just excited at the end of the day as she crossed the finish line. She called me. I know Helen was with her right by her side the whole time. And so Rebecca did all of the right things. She hired a coach. She followed a plan. She had her support system next to her. She was contacting me throughout. And Helen was Rebecca's support, and they trained together, and they did all the right things, and they accomplished this remarkable feat together because they did the right things.
That's wild. That is crazy.
But yeah, they finished it yesterday. So they're this week's Do Hard Things spotlight winner. And for Embracing the Suck, we're going to send them an Embrace the Suck t-shirt. So
awesome.
Great job, Helen. Great job. It took me shy of 16 hours.
Much respect. You guys are champions. That is ridiculously good.
Yeah, that's you want to talk about doing hard things. That's incredibly difficult. 50 miles on the feet is painful. And I do I've done a lot of endurance cycling and endurance kayaking. You get reprieve. If you're on a bike, you get a downhill, you can take a break. When you're on your feet like that, there's no breaks. I truly think, me personally, ultra running is probably one of the most difficult things that you can do as far as mind and body and the beating that you take.
Oh yeah.
There's no reprieve. So, no. But so great job, ladies. And yeah, embrace the suck. That's what's on my mind. So for me personally in my life, I'm embracing the suck of military transition. I'm embracing the suck of the challenges that are part of starting a business. But for me personally, got a coach, got a group, got mentors, and we're forging ahead. So any other final thoughts from you, Tom?
I just look at the Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and he doesn't have a shirt that says embrace the suck. Instead, he's got a shirt that says bring it. And it's the same concept, right? Bring it, bring on the pain. I'm ready for it. I've got this, and I think that's a success motto, just as embrace the suck is, and let's just do it. Let's just, achieve our goals through that struggle. It's worth it.
And, the mindset is what are the gems that are going to blossom from this, and embracing this unavoidable thing that's part of the process. It's part of the walk. How can we have reverence for it? How can we honor it? And just know that from challenge and doing those uncomfortable things, that's where the growth happens.
Yeah, big time.
So,
that's good,
so I think, I think we'll end it there. If you want to embrace the suck shirt, go to dohardthingsnation.com and go order your shirt. And when you wear this shirt, I'm telling you, you're not going to be slacking, or any of the shirts that we have over there. It's just a stark reminder that, hey, I'm someone that does hard things. I'm embracing the suck. I'm making it happen. I'm doing the thing. We have our event this coming Saturday. It's
Just going to ask you about that. Can you still register? Can you still register?
You can still register, and
talk about
you
it. Talk about it.
Where can you do it virtually?
Talk about the event.
Yeah, dohardthingsnation.com/events. You can go over there and register. We have the 5K 9.11 mile run or 9.11 mile ruck. No matter where you're at in the world, you can do it because we have a virtual option. But it's going to be hosted at Cooper's Landing. It's going to kick off at we're going to kick off the 9.11 mile run and ruck at 7:30, and we're going to do the 5K at 9.11. I'm sorry, 9:11 in the morning, because it's September 10th, but it's Patriots Day weekend, and we'll do a little ceremony and just to remember, those that ultimately lost their lives in 9/11, and just a way to get out, move, have reverence for life. It's in a beautiful location. We're gonna have food trucks out there, a food truck out there. We're gonna have some music out there, and it's gonna be a great time. The medals are awesome. The shirts are awesome.
Yes, so they look really good, Jay. They look really good.
Super cool. So excited about our first event, first of many that are going to be coming down the pike, but we're going to kick this one off this weekend. So we're super stoked about it. So
yeah, excited for these people doing it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're looking to take your life to the next level, you want some coaching, you want some mentorship, we have the Coach Mastermind group. It's a goal crushing community. And we got, if you're looking to, you want to do some one-on-one work. Also, I have one spot available for one-on-one, and you can also reach out to Tom and see if Tom has any availability. But we'd happy to do a strategy session with you to see, where we can help you take your life to the next level. What are some of the obstacles that you're facing? What are some of the fears that you have, and help give you some clarity on how to get to that next level? Because we're all, if you're listening, if you're taking the time to listen to this, you are someone that has, you're a high performer. If you're taking the time to listen to this and you're not scrolling on Facebook, you're not watching all the other crap out there, you're someone that cares about your personal growth and development. So if you're ready to take it to the next level, explore the opportunity of support of a coach or a mastermind community. If you've not taken that step, consider it, because it'll change your life. It's changed mine. So Tom, any other final thoughts?
That's it, man. You nailed it.
All right. Well, happy Labor Day, everyone out there. I think most people are off today. So enjoy the day. Take some time for yourself and your family. Do something worthwhile. Don't be like laying around watching Netflix all day. Get out there and get after it. Enjoy life.
Yeah, big time.
Make some memories. So in the meantime, keep doing hard things. We'll see you guys next episode.
All right. Cheers.